Welcome to Coach and Son's Parents Edition. Parents, this is for you and 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 you.
And me?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's right. Parents, we're talking to you today. Okay? Our first tip of the day, and this is one that I think is most important. Parents, be your kid's biggest fan and their biggest critic. Okay? You cannot have one without the other. Okay? It's the same thing that I tell young coaches, the same thing that I try to tell myself too, is that you've got to be the kid's biggest fan and the biggest critic. Okay? If you are just their biggest fan, you know what? They're not going to ever see themselves as doing anything wrong. They're going to be quick to blame others. They're going to look for any excuse necessary to come up with a reason why something is not their fault. But you know what? We all make mistakes. We all need to learn from them. So if you're just their biggest fan and supporter no matter what, it's not going to help them grow. Okay? On the other side, you can't just be their biggest critic without being their biggest fan, because they're not going to listen to you. If all you do is tell them negative things, then they're just going to put up a wall, they're going to lock down, and they're not going to learn from that. Okay? We've got to be their biggest fan and their biggest critic. Okay? Coaches, parents, everybody. That's how people grow. That's how people succeed. That's how they get better at what they do. Okay? The parents and coaches wouldn't want bosses that just saw negatives. We wouldn't want bosses that just fluffed us up and told us all the nice things. We want to grow. Kids want to grow as well. So be that big fan. Be that big critic. Build those relationships so we can help those kids grow. Okay, second thing. Worry about your kid. Okay? Your kid is the one you're responsible for. Your kid is the one that you're trying to see succeed, not just in sports, but in life. Okay, so much of sports is preparation for jobs and obstacles that they'll see in life. So worry about yourself. Okay? Are you going to follow them to their job and to their boss and go, oh, well, I know he may be struggling here a little bit, but he's definitely better than his coworker? No. You can't do that. Your boss will go, he's not worth the hassle, you're fired. You've got to be worried about your own kid. Okay? You can't say, oh, well, so-and-so, he may not be the best, but you know what? He's better than this other kid. Well, obviously there's something the coach is seeing why he's got the other kid playing in front of him. So you know what? Worry about your own kid. How can I help my kid succeed? How can I help him be better? Okay? And that's where being that realistic, being that critic and fan comes back into play. Sure, we all want our kids to play. We all want our kids to succeed. But you know what? But, we want them to succeed at life. Not in a regular season basketball game. I mean, sure, we want them to succeed in sports, but we want them to succeed in life. That's the more important thing. So worry about your own kid. Teach those lessons to your kid that can make them better. Okay, and the next thing, push your kid to their desire. Okay, so let's say your kid, let's say my kid here wants to play only in league games during the summer. Let's say he wants to play on the Tuesday night league games at the Y. Okay. Great. I'm going to push him to do that. But let's say he wants to go to all the tournaments. Let's say he wants to play three different teams, and we have the ability, we have the money and the time to do that, and he wants to play on all the teams he can play on. Guess what? We're going to do that because I want him to have that backing, whatever his desire is, and that I want him to have the backing, the support at home to be able to do that. Okay? So if your kid is that way, great. If he's not, we shouldn't judge other parents. Okay? We shouldn't judge other people because, oh, well, so-and-so, they're taking their kid to Chicago or Cincinnati or whatever. It doesn't matter. We should worry about our own kids, push to the extent that we can, make them better ball players. Guys, parenting is not easy. Okay? Parenting athletes is not easy. But you know what? We're here to help our kids, coaches, parents. We're here to not only prepare them for the season, not only prepare them for the ball games, but to prepare them for life. And one last thought. Basketball, baseball, softball, football, it doesn't matter. The majority of sports are team activities. Okay? So by the time they get into junior high and high school, the coach is working on getting them together as a team. It's a team practice. Okay? So fundamentals, as much as a coach would like to really hammer the fundamentals in practice, there's almost only so much time that we can have in practice. So if your kid's struggling dribbling or passing or pitching or whatever it is for whatever sport, if they're struggling, get them out on the court. Take them out to the ball field. Work with them. Okay, work on the fundamentals. That way they can help their team. Don't go, oh, my kid can't dribble. That's the coach's fault. Well, the coach would love to work on that stuff. But when you're working on a team defense or a press break or whatever you're working on in practice that involves the whole team, it's tough to work on those individual kids that may be a little behind where the rest of them are, because you're trying to build up that team. So take your kid out, work on those fundamentals, and so they're not missing those key points and costing them playing time. Okay, hey, big responsibility for coaches, big responsibility for players, big responsibility for parents. We've got to all work together. Parents, they love their kids. Coaches, we treat kids like our own extended family, and we want to work together. Just a couple tips from coaching sons to parents, right?
Yes.
This message was for all of them, myself included, right?
Yes.
All right. Have a great day.